My boyfriend's mom planned a trip with him, her boyfriend, and his kids, and told me I can come if I want to, but I will have to pay my own way, and also said I'm not allowed to room with my boyfriend, even though we are both adults, but I don't think she actually gives a crap about us and just wants to use us as free babysitters. Posted by u/throw RA 4920. My 23F boyfriend, 23M, will be graduating college in a couple of months. His mom, 39F, wanted to plan a graduation trip for him. For context, my boyfriend doesn't have the best relationship with his mom. They rarely see each other, although my boyfriend and I live 5 minutes away from her. From everything he has told me, there was a lot of abuse when he was a child, and his whole family is low contact with her decision. Now to the issue. She planned a trip with her boyfriend, his 2 kids, my boyfriend's sister, and obviously my boyfriend to another country. She told my boyfriend that he could invite me if he wanted to, but I would have to pay for my stuff, which I don't mind, and she will be paying for my boyfriend's trip. My boyfriend had no say in where the trip was going to be, and his mom said we were not allowed to room together. I would be rooming with his sister, 14F, and her boyfriend's daughter, 10F, while my boyfriend will be rooming with her boyfriend's son, 14M. We are staying in an all-inclusive resort, but I feel like I'm only going to babysit. Even my boyfriend mentioned he was scared his mom would just force him to babysit the kids. I'm also scared something will happen to one of the kids, like if they fall and get hurt or wander off, and I'll be blamed for it since it feels like she wants us to take care of them. My boyfriend says I can pay for my own room, but he doesn't think his mom will let him room with me. I also don't want to stay alone in a room in a foreign country, but I know this is going to cause issues with his mom. In the end, I told him I wouldn't go unless we room together. But he's upset since he wants me to go, so am I the jerk? Top/relevant comments. Commenter. Why don't you and your boyfriend just pay for your own room? Ops response. Right. This is the exact point I brought up. From what he's told me, she said on a solid no, even if he and I split the cost for the room. Commenter 2. I also don't want to stay alone in a room in a foreign country. Unless you're in a really violent or increasingly backwards and misogynist country like the USA, normally that shouldn't be a problem. However, I wouldn't go at all with a family like that. Ops response. You're probably right about that. I've never been to this country, and she won't tell us the name of the resort, so I have no idea where we would be staying. I'm assuming it's nice, but I'd rather be pleasantly surprised than assuming. They have also mentioned that they don't want to stay in the resort the whole time. Commenter 3. Don't go. Very simple. Don't go. Don't negotiate. It will only turn into more issues with his mom, and then you will be the bad guy soon. Your boyfriend doesn't seem strong enough to stand up to her, so it is very likely you will be blamed. No need to subject yourself to this. Save your money for another vacation. Really, don't start arguing. Simply don't go. Commenter 4. And rethink the wisdom of involvement with a man who apparently can't separate from his mom, even though he doesn't like her. Ops response. Yeah, this is what I've been thinking about all day, but he doesn't see it like that. In his head, he has no say since she's paying for him. Commenter 4. Why is your boyfriend so afraid of his mom and giving her so much power? He's an adult. Does she still contribute monetarily to his life? If she does, you may want to rethink the relationship. A free vacation isn't worth this crud, and if he thinks it is, then he's got problems. Ops response. I have no idea why he gives her so much power, if I'm being honest. It feels like this is a recurring theme in our relationship. In terms of contributing, I think she contributed a little to his education, but he mainly gets help from his grandparents. Update 2 days later. This is the first update I've ever done, so I hope I'm doing this right. First off, thank you all for the advice. It has made me take a step back and think not only about this situation but also about my relationship. The day I posted this, I had a conversation with my boyfriend that snowballed into the worst fight we've ever had. He accused me of trying to convince him not to go on the trip, which isn't something I had even brought up. He said he wants to go since it's a free trip to a country he has never been to. He did end up telling me that his mom said no to us rooming together for the following reasons. 1. We aren't married, neither are she and her boyfriend. 2. We're too young. 3. Because I said so. I spoke to my boyfriend last night, and it turns out some of you who suggested she might be helping him with money were correct. She took out loans to help pay for his schooling. They're all under her name, but if she stops paying, he feels responsible for them. I also think she was helping him out with grocery money since he's part-time, so she's pretty much holding all of this over his head. He did end up asking her if he was going to babysit, and she answered the next day at 8 a.m. with, "Stop being so negative. Good night." He told me how childish and immature she is, but the truth is I don't want to spend my life battling his mom. He promised me that I wouldn't and that things will change when he graduates, but I'll believe it when I see it. Part of the reason I am even contemplating going is because I want to see what I'm signing up for and if he is willing to stick up for me. If he isn't, then we're done. I won't waste years of my life on someone who can't even defend me. He did tell her that if I were to go, then I would book my own room reservation. That was my idea since I don't want any surprises. She's now telling him he's blowing things out of proportion. They're supposed to talk tonight, and he's pretty angry about the whole situation, so I'll let you all know how it goes. Sorry for the super long update. Top/relevant comments. Commenter. He did tell her that if I were to go, then I would book my own room reservation. If you go and have to pay for your own trip, you are allowed to do whatever the F you want. The fact she is mad at you both because you want your own room kind of proves that you were right thinking you were invited to babysit only. I wouldn't go, not even to see what's what. You will only be miserable and will now associate that country with that experience. Honestly, I don't think it's worth it. Op's response. I agree. I think she confirmed that I was only going to take care of the kids. She just gave my boyfriend the name of the resort. I looked it up, and it turns out that a child and a teen stay for free, but an adult has to be accompanying them in the room. It's a package, but I'm thinking that's what she wanted to do, leave me with the kids that aren't paying to be there so she and her boyfriend can have their own space. I haven't looked at the prices or compared it to how much she originally wanted me to give her, but I think you're right about not going. Commenter 2. Part of the reason I am even contemplating going is because I want to see what I'm signing up for and if he is willing to stick up for me. You don't need to go to see that. You already know he won't stand up for you. Op's response. I don't think I spoke much about my boyfriend's character. He's truly the best person I've ever been with. He's everything I want in a partner, but I know you could be right about this. I want to believe that he would stand up for me if it came down to it, but I also need to be realistic and consider how this situation has been handled so far. Commenter 3. Are you really going to waste the money to go and have your own room and still be pushed into babysitting? You know your boyfriend isn't going to be allowed to room with you even if you pay for it, so why are you wasting the money to go, only to be put in the exact positions neither of you want to be in? You aren't going to get to have any alone time on this vacation. You aren't going to get long walks on the beach or snuggly time in front of the fire. You aren't going to get any sort of romantic time with your boyfriend. You will both get to be the babysitters, and why would you go to dinner alone? This is a family trip, we eat together. Op's response. Yes, I would much rather spend the money on a vacation for the two of us to enjoy. He did offer to pay for half of it yesterday. I forgot to mention this in the post, but either way, we're both students, plus the money I would lose from not being at work. I know he really wants me to be there, and I want to celebrate him, but I'm not convinced this is a celebration for him at all. Second update 1 day later. Thank you all for all of your advice and support. I really needed to hear some of it. Unfortunately, this isn't a good update. I am now essentially unwelcome on the trip. I wasn't outright uninvited, but that's how I interpreted it. My boyfriend talked to his mom yesterday as planned. From what he told me, she called me ungrateful, a brat, said that I am trying to make everything about myself, as well as other things I don't want to think about right now. She said I was making up excuses to get a room alone with my boyfriend, which I was not. I have no reason to lie. I asked my boyfriend about me getting the separate reservation for my room like we had talked about. That's when he broke the news that she had already booked the rooms for 4 adults and 3 kids and that it's not refundable. I'm pretty sure she did this on purpose to try to get me to accept her terms. I'm not sure if this is important to mention, but my boyfriend had invited me on the trip last week and I had told him I wasn't sure. I told him to give me a couple of days to figure it out since my family member was in the hospital and we weren't sure if they were going to make it, so obviously my priorities were elsewhere. She knew this and booked the reservation regardless. He started telling me how much he loved me. He told me he was done with his mom and wants to go no contact when we move, and that after he graduates things will change. The trip is a couple of months after he graduates, so I asked him what he was going to do. He said he was still going since it's a free trip to a country he's never been to. I then asked him what was going to change, and he said that he had to go along with what she says because she's helping him. I was trying my best to understand his situation because, although it might seem easy for me, I know there's a lot more at play. I asked him if I was uninvited, and he said no. His mom said I could go on the trip as long as I went along with what she wanted. I asked again if I could get my own room, and he said no because he doesn't want me to spend that kind of money if it's not worth it. He said that would cause tension, and since his mom had already booked the reservation, she would lose money. So, her way or the highway. He knew that I wouldn't go along with this, so pretty much I can't go. He might invite a friend to go instead, but I don't know. Last night, he said that he felt like there was no winning with me unless he doesn't go on the trip. If I'm being honest, I do feel betrayed by him still wanting to go on the trip after she disrespected me, but I'm also so tired and emotionally drained. I'm not sure if I'm valid for feeling like this. As of this morning, she has officially threatened to cut all financial support. He says he's at a point where he would rather not have her support than have to deal with this. I know that the reason she's doing this is because she's mad at me, and this is her way of punishing me. I'm sorry for the long and not so positive update. I tried to include all the details that I could, but I might have forgotten some. I haven't slept in over 24 hours, so please bear with me. Top/relevant comments. Commenter. I read through your original posts and then the updates, and I don't really understand why you want to go. Besides the fact that it's overseas somewhere, it's to a resort. And probably a small element of babysitting, but there are probably enough ways for kids to stay occupied, especially when they're not that young. If your boyfriend wants to go, let him. If he doesn't, okay. But putting yourself into that environment just sounds, well, dumb. You don't want to play by her rules, so then don't. So simple. If you want to go away with a friend, go literally anywhere else in the world. Or just chill at home. You don't have to spend all that money, just save it. Either way, I feel like you're really caught up in all this and making it seem really complicated, but it's not. You don't want to be around the mother, and she's not paying for you or including you anyway, so don't go. Easy. Finished. Commenter 2. Real talk. I get it, you love him. But he needs to bake in the oven of life a bit more. The reality is he has zero plan for how to change the relationship dynamic. He isn't willing to set boundaries or push back with his mom. He is used to being a victim, and it is familiar and comfortable. The reality is change is hard, it takes work, and you don't change without help. He has no model for how to set healthy boundaries or how to have a healthy life. So he won't magically figure it out himself. It takes things like therapy or older friends who can mentor him. But his answer is that it will magically get better after he graduates. No, that is expecting the world to fix it. It won't. He can't even put his foot down now. What changes with a degree? Nothing is the answer. She will just continue to hold everything she has done over his head. Or he will have some financial tough times while finding a job, she will help with strings attached, and it will always be after all I have done for you. Each time, when faced with what you want versus what mom wants, he will pick mom. If you think I am wrong, look back at each time before. Who does he prioritize? He is lying to himself and lying to you. You are easier to disappoint because you continue to put up with it. His mom doesn't, so he caves to her. Do yourself a favor and walk. You can always tell him, when things get better and healthier, look me up. If we are both still single, we can explore things then. My guess, however, is that after having a break you might realize how crappy things were and not want it again. You are like the frog in the slow boiling water. Last thing, quit doubting your gut. Those feelings are there for an important reason. Your boyfriend is emotionally pushing you to just let it go. It is making you question your feelings. You have feelings because crap isn't right. Trust yourself.